How's everybody doing? Welcome back to part 3 on this series on the beaver. So in today's video, I'm gonna grab some willows and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna bend them and form them to match this shape right here, and then we'll go ahead and sew it on the willow hoop. It's a pretty easy basic process, but it's very rewarding. You can go ahead and get your own beaver, tan them yourself, and do your own willow hoop. It's very, very simple. Anybody can do it, and it makes for a great conversation piece on the cabin wall. So stick around. Well, we've got some of these willows gathered up, and so I just want to show them to you a little bit. You can kind of see some of this bark. When I pick these out, this bark is nice and shiny. I don't know what kind of willow these are. I did not learn that part when I took my willowology when I went to college, but you can see how flexible they are. They're freshly cut. I've got about on this end I've got about 1.25 inch diameter, so that seems to be about right. The other thing I got is my box here that I built. Get you in here and show you close up of this. All it is the shape of my beaver stretcher, and I just cut a hole out, and then I put some 2x4s in there around the circle, top and the bottom. So pretty simple. These things are close to 10 or 12 feet. So I'll show you how I stick them in there. Hey, Jack.
Hi.
What I start with is I start just flexing it at the heaviest point here. You guys can check out Mark J. Larson. He did some willow hoops recently, or at least one, and he had a totally different way I've never seen, which was kind of cool. It was a great video to watch, and definitely a different way of doing it. So go check that out. He just did that here a couple weeks ago, or a week maybe.
Dad.
This is just how I've always done it. I've had this box for years, and I just stick them in here and forget about it. Let them dry for about a week, and then I'll pull them out. You can see I bent that 1.25 inch all the way around. Then it just goes in the box. And it just holds the shape for me. I don't have to do anything else. Just gonna kind of ease it in. So let's talk about length of these things. They are 10 to 12 feet long. I like to do a one-piece willow.
Dad, can I come in? You're so hot.
And I don't care, Jack. That's about it. Pretty simple stuff. So I got about 9 more of these, 8 more of these to do. So let me get them done, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alrighty, well, I got these peeled. I got one here that I've skip peeled. I kind of like that look myself. And then I've got several that I leave the bark all the way on. I'll do 1 or 2 of these that I completely peel all the way. But so what I've done was I put them in my drying box for about a week, and I pulled them out, and then I'll peel them and put them back in my drying box for a couple weeks till they're dry, and they pretty much hold their shape. So these are gonna get stuff back in there, and we'll pull them out and start lacing. That'll be our next step. Don't forget to pick up all your willow shavings. These right here, throw them in a plastic bag and dry them out. Those work good for smoking in your pipe. The native used to smoke willow and actually smoke that and then mix tobacco and willow together, and it's a good thing to smoke if you're a smoker. How's it going over there, Jack?
Good.
He's getting his done, so away we go. Well, we made it back into the cabin here. We got our components that we need to put together for this beaver hoop. So you can see I chose for this beaver to not peel this stick. I really like these natural ones, just personal preference. I like that, and I like the skip peel. Those are my 2 favorites. So I've got that. I've got my artificial sinew or sinew, depends on who you're talking to. And then I got this 2-year-old beaver. Right now I've got these wires on here to hold everything together. And I've got to take this and just do some lashings to kind of just hold that together. And then we'll just sew it on. This is a Glover's needle, and I get these from Tandy Leather. I don't need the needle right this second. I'm just going to start on lashing the willow together. So basically I just need 2 points here to hold this thing together. So I'm going to put a lashing on over here and one here, about where the wires are. I'm going to just start right here. And if you put a loop in like this and then start wrapping, hold it up, and then just start wrapping it as tight as you need to. Nice and snug is what I prefer. And see my loop there. Make sure I get it. I like this artificial sinew because it's got a kind of a flat property to it. Kind of like a plaited braided rope. And it's got some wax on it so it helps stick as you pull it tight. You don't have to be real critical with it. And it's kind of half authentic looking. So you can see all I'm doing is I'm just wrapping down. I got my loop here, right? Tag end's going out that way. I'm just wrapping down, pulling it snug, and then I'm going to put this in through. It's just a very, very simple basic lashing technique. Go almost to that knot. I could go up over that knot actually. Now to help keep it a nice wide lashing. Might look a little cooler, so why don't I do that? Just going to go to the other side of that knot. I might have to use my needle to fish my line through. Yeah, there, see that? Now I got that nice loop. Couple more wraps here. Like I said, I'll probably have to use my needle to fit it through there. So let's go ahead and get this guy threaded through maybe. Guys, as you get older, your eyes quit working. Enjoy it while you're young. I'm just going to take this through my tag end here, or through my loop. It's like that. Pull my needle off, and so now I have two. Is that where I want it? I'm just going to pull on this other tag end here, and it helps tuck that thing underneath. So I've got a line coming out each side. We can trim that off and go ahead and pull this wire off on this side now. I like to leave these long just because I like authentic looking. I don't want all store-bought looking, all trimmed up and nice and perfect, because that's not authentic. I'll probably go right in here. 2 different points on that. Far enough apart. I like to leave this gap in right here to where it just kind of looks different on the wall. And I'm going to show you that loop one more, or that lashing one more time here. I've just made a loop. Lay it down and leave the tag end sticking out. I'm just going to do a loose wrap or two to start. Not real loose, but not going to really reef on it yet. As you can see, I'm just going to work that, wrapping it, work it down, and I'll be able to have that tag end to pull again. I guess that's how I want it to look, because that's all the more string I got. Just tuck this into my loop that I've created here. That, and then I'm going to pull on this tag end like this and just sucker on down. Creates that knot underneath. See, I pulled it through probably a good 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. There, you can tell that some human had wrapped these together. That's what I'm after, is I want it to look realistic. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to center my frame, my willow hoop, and my beaver how they look good. So that's going to be the look I'm after. But I want to be conscious of, this is the wall side, so I've got to flip this over. Here, there we go. So this will be the wall side. I'm just going to take some of my string and go ahead and tie a few spots here, working around the camera. I'm really not sewing, I'm just putting them back in the holes that I already created. So this is just a temporary thing. So I'm just going to tie a couple overhand knots. Granny knots, as some of us know them as. Just enough to get it to stay there. Need to sharpen my knife. Okay, I'm going to go to the other end. Pull it snug. Couple overhand knots here again. And you would think just one on each side would be enough, but it seems like it's better to go 2 on each side. Kind of help that guy stay in place a little better. We've got, what, 6 points holding that in place. Start somewhere and just keep on trucking all the way around. So let's just start here and we'll maybe work our way that way. So watch how I'm going to start this. I'm just going to do an overhand knot right here. Right around hide and everything. Pull it tight. So now I got a tag end. That's where I'm going to finish to. We'll do that several times. So I want to make sure I'm doing it the same way every time. So let's go under the hoop. Like this, over the top. This doesn't matter. Not that important. This is just how I'm going to get this thing on here. So then I'm doubled over my hoop. Once again, the wax thread really is, or sinew, really nice to work with. I'm just going to go down through the hide. And I'm not pulling super tight, I'm just going snug. And then as I go over, I'm kind of locking that on top right here. You can see, probably can't see. Locking that in. Go on to the next hole. Like that. And the whole time I'm kind of conscious of where these holes are in relation to where I'm wrapping. So I'm kind of trying to do this. Otherwise you can get a pretty silly looking lacing job. You're not being very careful. And I'm just locked in there. Pulling snug but not too tight. When we get to the other side, we're really gonna draw it down pretty good. So there's my hole. So if I went square, I want to kind of split that difference. Round we go. Stab myself with my needle. That's kind of the process. Set this stuff aside and let's take a peek at it. Yeah, very nice. There we have it. A lot of work, a lot of time goes into this, but these things last for a long time. I'm not sure how long because I haven't worn one out yet. I just hang them on the wall. Look at that. So we got about 25 more of these to go. Actually 23. And every one of them we're going to do the exact same. So guys, thanks for sticking around watching this. It's kind of a little different video than what I'm used to putting out. But I sure enjoy making these, and I can sell them for a pretty good penny. So it's worth your time to do. Thanks for watching. Cool.